So hi friends, welcome to TP Chennai. In this video we will see most important questions of your IBPS RRB PO mains, IBPS RRB clerical mains as well as SBA clerical mains. Because when it comes to your mains or examination, you need to focus on 4 or 5 things. First is nothing but comparison of quantities, which is quantity 1 and quantity 2. Second is nothing but arithmetic question, which is statement sum. Third and the main thing is data interpretation, and fourth is nothing but data sufficiency. If you concentrate on these particular sections when it comes to your any mains or examination, you can easily crack the examination. So today in this video we will see 9 questions from quantity 1, quantity 2, and we will see 5 questions from data sufficiency. Okay, so now we will start with Q1, Q2 or quantity 1, quantity 2. So basically what's the meaning of quantity 1, quantity 2? You are having one quantity 1 which have one statement or question, then you are having quantity 2 which is having one statement or question. You need to solve both quantity 1 and quantity 2 and then you have to compare whether quantity 1 is greater than quantity 2 or quantity 1 is less than quantity 2 or quantity 1 is greater than or equal to quantity 2 or quantity 1 is less than or equal to quantity 2 or quantity 1 is equal to quantity 2 or C and D, right? So first question, quantity 1. Number of ways of drawing 3 balls from a box containing 5 white and 7 red ball if at least 1 white ball is to be included in a draw, right? This is very important. So we need to find out number of ways of drawing 3 balls from a box which has 5 white and 7 red ball, and if at least 1 white ball should be included in a draw, right? So first I am solving quantity 1. 5 white ball is there and red ball is nothing but 7. What is the meaning of at least? At least is nothing but minimum value. It can be more than that also. So at least 1 white ball is there. That means number of ways is 5C1. Remaining 2 will be from red, 7C2 plus. Because it can be 2 and 3 also maximum. So 5C2 into 7C1 plus 5C3. Right? What is the meaning of 5C1? It is 5. What is the meaning of 7C2? NC2 is n into n minus 1 by 2. So 7C2 is nothing but 7 into 6 by 2, which is nothing but 21. Plus 5C2 is nothing but 10. 7C1 is 7. And what is the meaning of 5C3? 5C3 is equal to 5C2 because NCR is equal to NC n minus R. So 5C2 is nothing but 5 into 4 by 2, which is nothing but 10. This is 105, this is 70, and this is nothing but 10. Right? This is nothing but 10. So this is 185. This is the value of your Q1. Clear? This is the value of your Q1. So I am writing separately here. Q1 is nothing but 185. Now we will start with Q2. Number of different photographs. There are 5 boys and 3 girls in a family. They are photographed in a group of 2 boys and 1 girl. So 5 boys, so 5C2 into 3 girls are there, so it is 3C1. 5C2 is nothing but how much? 10. 3C3, 1 is nothing but 3. What is the answer? 30. So Q1 is 30 and Q1 is 185, Q2 is nothing but 30. What is my answer? Q1 is greater than Q2. Clear now? This is how you have to solve. Clear? Now we'll see next question. Quantity 1, right? Second question. Raj when work alone takes 7.2 hours more than the time taken by both Ram and Shyam to finish the work together. Shyam when works alone takes 9.8 hours more than the time taken by both Ram and Shyam to finish the work together. Time taken by both of them to complete the work together. Whenever these kind of questions will come, one trick is there, right? And that trick is nothing but, so Raj when work alone takes 7.2 hours more than the time taken by both Ram and Shyam together. If Ram and Shyam is x, Raj will be x plus 7.2. Similarly, if Ram and Shyam is x, Shyam will be x plus 9.8. So total technique is nothing but together they are asking, right? It is nothing but square root of this number, I can say x1 into x2. So this is nothing but 7.2 into 9.8. So if you multiply this number, this is how much? 70.56. Square root of this number, you should know square up to 100, right? This is nothing but 8.4. So my Q1 is nothing but 8.4. Clear? Q2 they have given you 8.4. Now many students are having confusion, sir. This is in hours, this can be any unit. No, you should not compare the unit. You have to compare the actual value, right? So Q1 is 8.4, Q2 is 8.4. What is my answer? Q1 is equal to Q2, which is nothing but whatever option you will be getting in examination. Clear now? Are you clear with both these two questions? Now we'll see third question. Third one, quantity 1. The sum of money for which the difference between the simple interest and compound interest obtained on it in 2 years at 6% per annum compounded annually is rupees 43.2. And quantity 2 they have given you rupees 12,850. That means we have to solve only quantity 1, right? So quantity 1. I am writing here simple interest. I am writing here compound interest. Right? Sum of money for which the difference between SI and CI in 2 years at 6% per annum. Per year 6%. 2 years SI will be 12%. What about compound interest at 6% per annum for 2 years? It is x plus y plus xy by 100. So it is nothing but 6 plus 6 plus 6 into 6 by 100. So I am solving main several questions here, right? So I hope you know the concept also. So for 2 years, it is successive percentage change, which is x plus y plus xy by 100. This is 12 and this is 36 by 100, which is nothing but 0.36. So this change is 12.36. How much difference is here? 0.36. 0.36 and how much difference they have given you? 43.2. Now they are asking to calculate principal, which is nothing but 100 part, right? Before that, decimal is there. Multiply by 100 both the sides. So this will become 36 and this will become 4320, right? 4320. So 100 part is how much? 36 ones are 36, 2s are. So 12,000 is my answer for quantity 1. Answer is nothing but 12 followed by 30, right? What about quantity 2? Quantity 2 they have given you 12850. So what is my answer? Q1 is less than Q2. Clear ma? Q1 is less than Q2. Clear? Now we'll see next question. Quantity 1. The distance of school from Raj's house, if he reaches school 5 minutes late while walking at 4 km per hour, but 10 minutes earlier than the scheduled time walking at 5 km per hour. Distance they are asking, 5 minutes late is there and 10 minutes earlier is there. Late and early cases, difference will be how much? 15 minutes. That will be your time difference. So distance is nothing but product of speed, which is S1 S2 divided by S1 minus S2. If S1 is greater than S2 into time difference, I can write it as delta T. What is S1 and S2? S1 is nothing but how much? 4 km per hour. S2 is 5 km. So 5 into 4 divided by 5 minus 4. Time difference 15 minutes. That is nothing but 15 by 60. 1 by 4 hour, right? This is how much? 5. So my answer is 5 km. 5 km, right? This is distance they are asking, 5 km. And what about quantity 2? Quantity 2 they themselves gave you 5 km. So what is my answer? Q1 is equal to Q2. Clear? Now we'll see question number 5. Quantity 1. Product of two numbers whose sum is 17 and sum of the square of two numbers is 145. quantity 2, sum of two numbers whose product is 1400 and the difference between them is 5. Right? So we will see first quantity 1. Product of two numbers whose sum is 17. I am saying my two numbers are x and y. That means x plus y is equal to 17. And sum of the square of two number is 145. So x square plus y square is equal to 145. Now here no need to be over smart, right? By selecting a number, choose a two numbers, when you add you should get 17, when you sum of the square when you do you should get 145. Not required. We can follow normal method because it's a mains level question. If you square first one, so x plus y whole square is equal to 17 square. What is x plus y whole square? What is a plus b whole square? A square plus b square plus 2ab is equal to 289. X square plus y square is 145. This part is 145 plus 2xy is equal to 289. What is the value of 2xy? 289 minus 145 is nothing but how much? This is 4, this is 4, 1. So xy will be how much? Xy will be 72. This is my quantity 1, which is 72. Clear? Now we see quantity 2. Sum of two numbers whose product is 1400 and difference between them is nothing but 5. X plus y they are asking if x greater than y, right? Product of number, that means xy is equal to 1400 and difference between them, that means x minus y is equal to 5. That means if I say x greater than y, right? Now in algebra one identity is there, x plus y whole square minus x minus y whole square is equal to 4xy, right? We will use this one. X plus y they are asking. X minus y whole square is nothing but 5 square, which is 25. 4 into 1400, which is 5600. This will go there. So x plus y whole square is equal to 5625. Now what is the value of x plus y plus or minus? These many students will do mistake because you are having even power. Whenever even power is there, you will be having two roots. One will be positive, one will be negative, right? So x plus y square root of this number. What is square root of this number? Plus or minus 75. Now when you compare 72 with plus 75, 75 is greater. 72 with minus 75, quantity 1 is greater. That means my answer is nothing but C and D, or quantity 1 is equal to quantity 2. These two will be in a single option. Clear? Now we will see question number 6. Speed of boat in still water and speed of current in the ratio 6:1. If the difference between distance covered by boat in 2 hours upstream and 2 hours downstream is nothing but 8 km. So first statement they have given you. What they have given you? Speed of boat in still water and speed of current is nothing but ratio 6:1. Speed of boat in still water is nothing but x. So x by y. Speed of current is y is nothing but 6/1. So from this I can say my downstream speed is x plus y, which is 7. Upstream speed is x minus y, which is nothing but 5. Difference between distance covered by boat in 2 hours upstream and 2 hours downstream. Right? Time is same, 2 hours, 2 hours. That means 7 minus 5, difference 2. So 2 into 2. Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed difference is 2. Time is 2. 2 into 2 is equal to how much they have given you? 8. So 4 part is 8. 1 part is 2. Now what they are asking? Quantity 1. Speed of boat in still water. X they are asking. X is 6. So 6 part is how much? 12. What about quantity 2? Speed of cyclist who goes 28 km in 2 hours. Speed is equal to distance by time. That means 28 by 2, 14 km per hour. So quantity 1 is less than quantity 2. Clear? Now we'll see 7th question. We'll see quantity 1 first. The profit earned by selling an item in rupees if the difference between cost price and selling price is 117, 2 by 3% of 600. So first we will see quantity 1. The profit earned by selling an item in rupees if difference between CP and SP is 1172 by 3%. What is 1172 by 3%? This is how much? 73 is a 51, right? So 17 is a 7 is a 21. This is 351 plus 2 plus 2. This is 353 divided by 300 of 600. So this is how much? 676. Quantity 1 is nothing but 706. Profit is nothing but SP minus CP. Difference they have given you, right? So quantity 1 is nothing but 706. Now we'll see quantity 2. Now we'll see quantity 2 here. The cost price of an article in rupees if the selling price of an article is rupees 1000 and he got 25% profit after selling the item. Cost price they are asking. SP is nothing but rupees 1000 and profit percent they have given 25%. CP they are asking. So CP is nothing but SP. SP is 1000 into 100 divided by 100 plus profit percent, which is 100 plus 25. 25 5s are 25 4s are 4 5 200. So what is the answer? 800. Quantity 1 is 706. Quantity 2 is 800. What is the answer? Quantity 1 is less than quantity 2. Clear now? Now we will see question number 8. Quantity 1. Cost price of the article. If an article is sold at 8% profit instead of 8% loss, it would have brought rupees 12 more. Right? CP they are asking. Sold at 8% profit instead of 8% loss. 8% profit, 8% loss. Overall change will be 16%, right? So 16 part, how much they have given you? It would have best rupees 12 more. CP they are asking. CP is nothing but always 100 only, right? 4 3s are, 4 4s are, 4 25s are. What is 25 into 3? 75. So CP is nothing but 75. Now come to quantity 2. Cost price of book. A man sells a book at a profit of 20%. If he had bought it at 20% less and sold it for rupees 18 less, he would have gained 25%. Right? Again CP they are asking, but here on condition. A man sells a book at a profit of 20%. I am writing here CP, I am writing here SP. If my initial CP is 100, 20% profit is there. So my SP will be how much? 120. If he had bought it at 20% less, now CP is 100 minus 20, that means 80. And sold it for rupees 80 less, he would have gained 25%. If you increase 25% on 80, how much we have to add? 20. So it will be 100. Here how much it is less? 20. And how much it is less there? 80. What they are asking? CP is 100 only. This is 5 times. Right? This is also 5 times. What is the answer? 90. So this is nothing but 90. Quantity 1 is 75, quantity 2 is 90. What is the answer? Q1 is less than Q2. Clear? Now we will see question number 9. Highest score. That is the question, right? The average marks of a student in 8 subjects is 87. Of these, the highest marks are 2 more than the next in value. If these 2 subjects are eliminated, the average marks of the remaining subjects are 85. Highest score they are asking. The average marks of 8 subjects is 87. So total will be how much? 87 into 8. From this, you have to remove 2 subjects. For that the condition is, of these the highest marks are 2 more than next in value. That means this is H minus 2. And If you remove this one, remaining you have 6 subjects. For that, average is 85. Total will be 85 into 6. Multiply this number. 8 7s are 56. 64 and 6 69. 696 minus. This is how much? Minus 2h. This is plus 2 is equal to 0. 510. So this is how much? Minus 2h plus 2 is nothing but how much? 2 more than extra value. Okay, this is h plus 2. This will be h. So this will be minus 2 will come here. Right here minus 2 will be there. So 696 minus 510 is equal to 2h minus 2. Right? So now this is how much? 681 plus 2 by 2 is equal to highest. So highest will be how much? 188 by 2, which is 94. This is my Q1, 94. Right? Now we'll see quantity 2. Now we'll see quantity 2. Number of officers. The average monthly salary of employees consisting of officers and workers of an organization is rupees 3,000. The average salary of an officer is rupees 10,000, while that of a worker is rupees 2,000 per month. There are total 400 employees in an organization. The beauty of quantity 1 and quantity 2 is nothing but if you solve both the statements, your concept will be more and more clear. It is equal to your arithmetic, but the way of asking question is different. Instead of asking a single statement, they are asking into 2 different forms, right? So this is based upon allegation, quantity 2, right? It is purely based upon allegation. Number of officers they are asking. Who are all there in picture? You are having officer and you are having worker. The average monthly salary of employee consisting of officer and worker is rupees 3,000. Total part is nothing but 3,000. Total average. Average salary of officer is 10,000. Now you see one thing. You have 3,000, you have 10,000, you are having 2,000. From everywhere you can remove 30. So this will be how much? 3. Officer salary is nothing but 10 and worker salary is nothing but 2. Difference is 1, difference is nothing but 7. This is total. And total employee, how much they have given you? 400. That means 8 part is nothing but 400. So 1 part is nothing but 50. What they are asking? Officers. Officers is 1 part. So 1 part is 50 only. So this is nothing but 50. So what is the answer? Quantity 1 is greater than quantity 2. Clear? So I hope you have understood all 9 questions in this quantity 1, quantity 2. Now we will see data sufficiency, which is very much important. So before we will go with data sufficiency, one important information which I am telling every time is we are having one app, and that app is nothing but TP Chennai Official. Right? TP Chennai Official. This app, where you will be getting, you will be getting this app in Google Play Store. What is the benefit of this app is, once you download this app and install in your Android mobile phone, there you will be getting all our recorded videos of arithmetic, reasoning, English as well as current affairs. So already in reasoning you have many chapters videos which are already available in this particular app. It is all in recorded form and with the proper clear explanation. Arithmetic also will be updating very soon, and English videos also, some videos are already uploaded in this particular app. So do download this app and install it in your Android mobile phone. Clear, ma? Now we will see data sufficiency. So first of all, what is the meaning of data sufficiency? Data sufficiency itself is a very easy chapter, but it's a very tricky chapter. So basically what you have to do in data sufficiency? Data sufficiency means you will be having one statement 1. First statement will be there. Second statement will be there. And then you will be having one question, right? You are not supposed to solve any of the statement. Just you have to check. Can you able to get the answer from the first statement? Can you able to get the answer from the second statement? Or can you able to get the answer from the first statement alone? That means second statement is not required. Or can you able to get the answer from the second statement alone? First statement is not required. Or by combining both the statement, can you able to get the answer? Or even after combining both the statements, you can't able to get the answer. This is what the options you will be getting in your examination. Clear, ma? So I will read the option one by one. Each of the questions below consists of a question and two statements, number 1 and number 2 given below it. You have to decide whether the data provided in the statements are sufficient to answer the question. It is sufficient to answer the question. You are not supposed to solve. Remember, give answer 1 if the data in statement 1 alone are sufficient to answer the question, while the data in statement 2 alone are not sufficient. Second one, give answer 2 if the data in statement 2 alone are sufficient, while the data in statement 1 alone are not sufficient. Give answer 3 if the data in statement 1 alone or statement 2 alone are sufficient. Give answer 4 if data in both the statements 1 and 2 are not sufficient. That means if you merge both the statement also, you can't able to get the answer. And give answer 5 if the data in both the statement 1 and 2 together are necessary to answer the question. Clear, ma? This is how options will be there in your examination. Now we'll see question one by one. So first question. What was the population of state A in 1999? Again I am repeating, you are not supposed to solve. You have to just analyze, right? So question is, what was the population of state A in 1999? They are asking to find out the population of state A in 1999. First statement. Population of state A increases every year by 20%. Can you able to understand anything in this particular statement? No. Because what they have mentioned here, population of state A increases every year by 20%. But what is the present population value? Which they have not given you. If they have not given you, that means from the first statement alone, I can't able to solve the questions. Now we'll see statement 2. Population of state A in 1999 was 172.8% of its population in 1996. Can you able to get the answer from this statement? No. What is the reason? Because you don't know the population of 1996. That means from second statement alone you can't able to find out the answer. Even if you merge both the statement also, you can't able to get the answer because you don't know the present population value or you don't have the population of 1996. So you can't able to get the answer. That means even after combining both 1 and statement 2 together, you can't able to get the answer. Now clear? Again I am repeating, you are not supposed to solve. You have to assume only, right? That assumption should be clear. You need to justify your answer also, right? Why it is not coming. Clear? Now we'll see next one. What is the rate of interest percent per annum? This is the question. First statement, the amount double itself in 10 years. Can you able to get the answer from this statement? Yes. How? The amount double itself in 1 year. You know very well. RT is equal to 100 into x minus 1. X is nothing but number of times which they have given you here, right? Which is double. If you keep 2 here, again I am saying you are not supposed to calculate. For explanation purpose only I am writing. If you keep 2 here, this is 2 minus 1 into 100. R they are asking, and time also they have given you, which is nothing but 10 years. T they have given you 10 years. You have all the informations and only one variable is there which they are asking to calculate. That means you can able to get the answer from the first statement. Clear, ma? Second statement. The simple interest accrued in 5 years is rupees 5,000. Simple interest they have given you. If you know this formula, SI is equal to P into R into T divided by 100. SI you have, time you have, but what about P and R? P and R you don't have. Two variables are there in the equation which you don't know, which you don't have the value, and when you don't have the values of those two variables, you can't able to calculate. That means second statement is not sufficient to find out the answer. Your option will be statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. So no need to merge also. Clear, ma? Now we'll see next one. 12th one. What is the cost price of the suitcase purchased by Summer? Cost price they are asking of a suitcase purchased by Summer. First statement, Summer got 20% concession on the label price. What is the meaning of label price? Label price is nothing but mark price, list price or tag price. Discount is nothing but 20%. That is what they have given you in the first statement. Can you able to find out anything? No, because only discount is there, which is 20%. So I can't able to find out from the first statement. Come to second statement. Summer sold the suitcase for rupees 2000 with 25% profit. Can you able to get the answer from the second statement? Again no, because mark price you don't have. You have only selling price and percent profit. Right? Summer sold the suitcase for rupees should be 25% of the label price. That means you should know label price also. From the second statement 2 alone you can't able to get. But what is the information they have given you? SP they have given you 2000 and profit percent they have given you 25%. So from the first statement alone you can't able to get. From the second statement alone you can't able to get. That means you have to combine. Now when you combine this one, in the first statement you are having discount with you. In the second statement you are having selling price and profit percent with you. Now you have one formula. I already told you, mark price by cost price is equal to 100 plus profit percent divided by 100 minus discount percent. Now you will ask, what about mark price? Mark price from the second statement we can, if you merge both the statement, you can calculate mark price. For that, what is the formula? Selling price is equal to mark price into 100 minus discount percentage divided by 100. If you merge both the statement, SP they have given you, MP you need to calculate, discount also they have given you the first statement. By using this you can calculate mark price, and by using this formula you can calculate cost price. That means statement 1 and 2 together is required to find out the answer of this particular question. Clear now? Everything is clear? Now we'll see next one. Now we'll see question number 13. What is the ratio of total number of girls to total number of boys in a college? We'll see first statement. What they are asking. What is the ratio of total number of girls to total number of boys in a college? Ratio of girls and boys they are asking. First statement, there are 2500 students in a college, out of which 40% are boys. That means 60% will be girl. So from this I can get the answer. Ratio only. Right? So from this I can get the answer. Second one. The ratio of total number of boys to total number of girls last year was 5:6. Last year data is not required also. So that means second statement is not sufficient. My answer is first statement because I need to calculate ratio only. Right? Come to question number 14. What is the average? What is the salary of A in a group of A, B, C, D, and E, whose average salary is 65,780? A, B, C, D average they have given you. So A plus B plus C plus D plus E. Total I can calculate. This will be how much? 455 into this number. Right? But can you able to get the answer from the first statement? No, I cannot get anything in this statement. Second one. Right? So this is what we can calculate the total here. Right? Now your first statement starts. Total salary of B and C is 88,545. B plus C only they have given you 88,545. Can you able to get the answer from the first statement? No. You need to calculate salary of A. Even if you substitute also in this equation, you can't able to get. Second statement. Total salary of B and E is 59,020. Now here they are talking about B plus E. Whatever it is. 59,020. Can you able to get the answer from the second statement alone? No, because B plus E only you have. Now if you merge both the statement, you have B plus C here, you have B plus E here. Out of 5 variable, 4 variable you got. So you can calculate the fifth variable. That means 1 and 2 together is sufficient to calculate or find out the answer. Clear now? Now we'll see last question. Last question. In how many days will 5 women complete a work? 5 women complete a work. First statement, 2 women, 5 boys and 3 men together complete the work in 6 days. They are asking to calculate women or one variable, but in the first statement 3 variables are there. You have 2 women, you have 5 boys and you have 3 men. Can you able to calculate? No. Straight away reject. Right? First option. Second one. 8 women complete the same work in 12 days. Can you able to get this one from the second statement? Yes. Because you know this state equation. M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. M1 and M2 is number of person. So they are asking to calculate in how many days 5 women complete a work. M2, 8 women can do the same work. So work is constant, both they can equate. 8 women can do the work in 12 days. So from this I can calculate days. That means second statement is sufficient to answer the question. Clear, ma? So I hope you understood how to solve data sufficiency. Again I am repeating, you are not supposed to calculate, you have to assume. But you have to have one solid reason with you why this is not sufficient, why this is sufficient, right? So please do subscribe TP Chali YouTube channel for further updates and videos, and do share this video among your friends in Telegram, Instagram, Facebook and WhatsApp. Prepare well, all the best.